646.9 is
Stalking
statute. And again, do you have any evidence of that?
No.
No evidence of stalking.
Threat statute is 422.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any evidence that I made criminal threats?
I do not.
No evidence of criminal threats. Good.
You have no evidence. Isn't that correct? That I did any of the things that Bridges claim I did. Is that true?
Personally, no.
Personally, that's why you're here.
I'm Uncivil Law for Attorneys React, and today's episode, the officer admits that he doesn't know anything that he put in his report that led to the actions against the suspect. Let's get started with this.
Hey guys, this is a deposition from an El Dorado, California deputy, Marcus Devani, from 2015. The person conducting the deposition is Brian Smith, who was facing multiple misdemeanor charges that the DA decided to pursue based on this deputy's report. Throughout the deposition, the accused gets the deputy to admit that he worded his report as if he had firsthand knowledge of the incidents, but that he indeed had no knowledge or evidence of anything he submitted to the DA.
That's certainly how it sounds so far, yeah.
Admits during the deposition that exculpatory evidence existed before his report was written that would have exonerated the accused, but that he failed to include that in his report. During the deposition, he also has the nerve to claim that his time is being wasted. This report was a direct cause of the arrest and loss of liberty of the accused Brian Smith. But this deputy, like so many others, takes this very lightly and sees his victim's loss of liberty as no big deal. Just another day at the office.
Do you solemnly state under penalty of perjury that the evidence you shall give in this assured matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Deputy Devani, in January of 2012, did you conduct an investigation in Calaveras County, California, of alleged hang-up calls to Michelle Carr Bridges?
Yes, I did. So you're asking me if what I wrote in this report is true and accurate?
Yes.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay.
Let's find out if that's true.
You can say safely that you didn't write any false information about me or my activities or whereabouts?
No, sir. The phone trap revealed the phone numbers from which the annoying phone calls are being made from belong to S. Brian Smith.
That means suspect Smith.
Correct.
Okay, and you stand by that statement, sir?
Yes, sir.
Could you please look at this document? These are the AT&T faxes and letters that you refer to in your report. Okay, well, the phone company, in other words, is telling you in clear, simple language that they don't know who made the prank calls, correct?
That's assumed, yes.
It's assumed.
It's assumed. Okay, well, and if you could please take a look at this copy of my telephone bill. Do those numbers correspond? Okay, and the exhibits I've handed you, you admitted to indicate that numbers do not belong to me. Okay, well, in a nutshell, did you send false information to the district attorney?
No.
You didn't. So you think you think the AT&T is wrong?
This is obviously a separate investigation, but my initial report, when I write it true and correct.
Okay. Based on what?
You're saying the phone numbers do belong to me or they do not belong to me?
In my original report, I did state that they do belong to you. And in Exhibit 3, they show that they're unidentified or unknown subscriber from AT&T.
So that was false information you provided?
At the time, no.
At the time, no. Well, sir, didn't you represent yourself as having information that you alleged to be true, my telephone numbers, which you did not know to be true?
Again, as it reads in 2012, the phone numbers that I was given were known to be attached to you at that time.
How'd you determine that?
These were from the victims.
Well, yes, I know the victims said it was my phone, and I'm saying that they're not telling the truth. And I'm asking why you reported falsely to the DA that these numbers belong to me.
I don't report false information, sir.
So you're saying the AT&T is incorrect?
You would think AT&T would know who the numbers belong to, if anybody.
What color is my house in San Francisco?
I do not know.
Where is it located?
I have no idea.
No idea. Would you refer, please, to paragraph 3 and read the last sentence? Smith frequents
the Bay Area where he has another home.
Well, did you write that?
I did.
Well, is it true? The next to the last.
If you have no idea where he lives, how do you know he lives in the Bay Area?
If you consider the last sentence a paragraph. Michelle told me that nothing is ever said on the phone. Well, there you make a difference. You say Michelle told you this, correct?
Correct.
And that's differentiated from the fact that you don't say that in the previous statements in the same report. Is that correct?
I don't start my sentence with Michelle told me, correct?
My question is, did
Okay.
you say in a declarative way that Smith frequents the Bay Area where he has another home?
Yes.
You didn't say the alleged victims claim that Mr. Smith
Yeah.
frequents the Bay Area where he has another home, did you?
It's assumed in this report because that's the style I'm writing.
Oh, no, my friend. No. That is not how that works, right? If you want to write, victim reports in your report, then yeah, that's how you got that information, victim reports. You can't say Smith lives in the Bay Area unless you know that somehow. And he said, well, I have no idea where you live. I have no idea what color your house is. I have no clue. But the report is written declaratively. You live here. Okay. And then he asked the question, well, how do you know that? How do I live there? Because you don't know where I live. And he's like, well, I got it from the victim. But the report doesn't say that. There's a big difference on that, right? The victim is the one reporting and then all the rest of it. And you didn't disclose that AT&T had said these numbers don't belong to the individual. That's information you apparently got from the victim. So what you should have said in your report is victim reports that she knows these numbers. However, AT&T reports that they don't know who the numbers belong to. They're unsure. And then a judge can weigh them. So you left out the potentially exculpatory information that you knew about. You knew about this AT&T report, right? That they say that they can't figure out who the number belongs to. And you didn't put that in your report, potentially exculpatory. And now you're writing declarative things. This person lives here when you yourself lack knowledge of that. You're basing it off what someone else told you. You have to put that in the report.
You're arguing with them again.
Who assumes that?
I assume that then.
Oh, you assume it. Well, do you think the DA assumes it?
Does the
Well,
DA
why do
assume
you
that's your
think,
style?
Why do you think the alleged victims claimed I had I have a house in the Bay Area that I frequent?
That's what they stated.
But and I'm asking you, in your experience as an officer, why do you think they'd say something like that?
I have no idea, sir.
You have no idea, and yet you made that statement.
Correct.
You have no idea why they say it, so you don't think it's sufficiently
Well, do you
reliable.
think
Nice
it was
touch.
to make me appear that I had the financial means to engage in sophisticated harassment. Do you think that could have been it?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, do you think they might have said that because they searched my name on the internet and came up with just a name like Smith and put that in there?
I can't assume that.
So you have no idea why they say that.
No, sir.
You think they could have been lying?
It's possible.
What do you think is likely?
Anything's possible.
Possible that your report is
Well, it says
illegal.
Christopher Hewitt, Sergeant Hewitt approved the report. What does that mean exactly?
That means that my capacity at this point was a deputy. I took the report. Once I've completed the report, I submit it for review, and the sergeant will review the report and then approve it and sign his name at the bottom.
He'll review the report, so he'll read it.
Yes, sir.
And how is it that, do you think, that he was unable to see these AT&T communications reflecting the fact
Good
that
question.
they don't know who made the calls?
I can't assume that.
You can't assume it?
I'm not Sergeant Hewitt, sir.
Uh-huh.
You didn't tell him though.
Well, does he usually make up stuff, do you think?
I don't know what you're talking about making up.
Well, it's not my house. It's not my telephone numbers.
Two judges at different times.
Please, sir, please don't make speaking objections. It's unethical.
I'm asking you if that's included in the.
Please don't interrupt a deposition, Mr. Foley.
It's an incomplete question.
Isn't it past your cocktail hour?
Close.
Well, yeah, I
Pretty
know.
close,
And I
nice.
refer to you on the internet as a drunken criminal. Is that true?
I don't know. What are you?
Are you a drunken criminal, Kenny?
You have been subject to two separate civil.
Right.
harassment
And you're a liar, and I passed the
Judges.
polygraph, Mr. Foley. They are
Yes,
accurate,
yes,
Mr.
sir.
Foley. You're dirty, and this case is dirty, and you know it.
Nice. I like
Well,
the way he says
you
that. It's very
testified-
nice.
You state under oath that this is a clean case? Answer the question. This is a clean case.
So as
Well,
Jack
would you please
Nicholson
stop
said,
interrupting, Mr.
in
Foley?
A Few Good Men.
Please stop making speaking objections. Well, you're right. Smith has not been able to be questioned regarding this case.
Correct.
And what does that mean exactly?
That means that I have not been able to contact you in regards to your statement related to this report that I took.
What steps did you take to try?
Well, in the course and scope of your daily activities as a deputy sheriff, do you have access to a pencil?
Yes.
Do you have access to a telephone?
Yes.
You know I live in a rural area. Could you have left a note on my gate?
I have never been to your house, sir.
Well, wouldn't my address be on the paperwork?
It would.
Well, sir, now you know that the telephone company says they don't know who belonged to those phone numbers, right? You
As
know,
of, I believe, December 2nd, 2011 at 2:30, yes.
a month before you wrote your report.
Okay.
That's the critical thing, right? You knew You knew before you wrote the report. And that's information that's potentially exonerating. Again, the whole thing is balanced, right? So can you use hearsay? Sure. Can you use information that's a little unclear? Sure, because often in investigations, things aren't always clear. Depending on your stage of the investigation, things can be a little murky. That's okay. The law doesn't require very much, but it does require you to be honest about it. And this cop is purposefully, deliberately being misleading in his applications to his sergeant, who then relies on it to give it to the prosecutor, who then relies on it to give it to the judge. So the whole chain is corrupted because of this guy. Let's watch more.
Could you not have easily acquired my telephone number to call me?
I could have, but the numbers I was provided is what I attempt.
Right. And so you didn't. You could have, but you didn't.
These were the numbers I was provided, and these were the numbers that I attempted calls to.
Right. So could you answer my question? You could have, but you didn't.
If I was given the phone number, correct. Yes, just make sure that you're not asking me leading questions as well.
Well, please don't give me advice, if you don't mind. You're testifying that you did not ask them for my telephone number so that you could call me.
I don't recall the exact conversation that this report was generated from, no.
So when you say that Mr. Smith has not been able to be questioned, would you call that a true statement?
Yes.
Even though you decided not to pursue the matter?
You're asking me a question based on asking if I had spoke to you in this matter at this time, and I did not.
Well, so you're going to say there's no further leads regarding his location in Calaveras County besides his address. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what does that mean exactly? You know where I live. You can get a hold of my telephone number. So what, did you think I was flying around in a Learjet?
At this time, I was not provided an address. And
Did you look for one?
That's exactly what I stated.
Did you try?
Yes, sir. My address would be on the documents connected with the case, wouldn't they?
I would assume they would.
But you have the address.
That there's a restraining order granted. It would be on that as well, wouldn't it?
Correct.
And you say in your report that you're including that. You had access to that in the report that you sent to the DA's office, correct?
Correct.
Well, sir, you don't think that the way you wrote that you sent to the DA, no further leads. Isn't that just a fancy way of saying you were too busy to do an investigation? That
is my way of saying that I've investigated this as far as I could at the time.
You could have gone further. You had the address, sir.
No further leads regarding his location. It sounds like you're in an international manhunt. It sounds like a dramatic way of saying that, you didn't want to leave a note at my gate or telephone. Would you agree with that?
Get wrecked.
Not completely, no.
Get wrecked.
Not completely, okay, but partially. In general, sir, would you say it's best to talk to the accused man before you have him arrested when there are no witnesses to the alleged misdemeanor?
If it's possible, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're not saying that in this case it was impossible. You're just saying you didn't do it. Is that correct?
Correct. In this report, I did not. I understand that. But
so you violated your own sense of best practices. That's nice.
Continuously, then at some point, I do have to leave today.
Well, sir, I'm not wasting your time. You realize I was arrested and I'm being prosecuted.
I understand that.
The cop accuses the guy of wasting his time. No, he's doing a pretty good job. This cop apparently doesn't recognize that he's doing a good job. He's exposing this cop to be a liar who apparently lies to his own sergeant, apparently just misleads things, puts things in his report, saying things that are declarative when he himself doesn't know it, doesn't indicate how he got the information. It does not provide the potentially exculpatory information. AT&T looked into it and they couldn't figure out where the phone numbers came from. Did you have my address? No. Wasn't it on the restraining orders that you included in your report? Yes, it was. So you did have my address. Well, we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't put two and two together. This cop is a liar. He's being exposed as a liar. I'm not sure he recognizes that he's being exposed as a liar. This cop is full of it. Let's watch some more.
Real quick, I just wanted to say that Attorney Tom / Attorney Reacts content is now on Spotify. We just launched a partnered show. Link in the description. Go check it out. Now, back to the video.
Think I have a legitimate interest to ask you why you wrote all this stuff?
You do, but what Mr. Foley's alleging is what I feel that you're doing is you're asking me questions that I can't honestly answer because I have no personal knowledge of.
That's the problem. That is the problem.
You have no personal knowledge because you didn't conduct a thorough investigation.
You're asking me?
Have you received any instruction or training with regard to writing incident reports?
Yes.
Where did you receive this instruction?
Where?
Where, yes.
In the academy and in on-the-job training.
Well, you were instructed on the importance of writing a true and accurate report, correct?
Correct.
And do you think it's especially important to write a complete and accurate report when the accused man could face years in prison?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that the district attorney and judges use police reports in order to establish probable cause to file criminal complaints?
Yes.
They sure do.
And judges use police reports to issue search warrants and restraining orders.
Okay, what does this have
Yes.
to do?
Sir, these are valid questions, and if you're
For what
going to
purpose?
make speaking objections, go off the record. Mr. Foley, these are classic questions in any evidence course, and you should know that.
Nice bird.
You know,
Well, would you get it? Would you score on your boards?
I'm an attorney.
What did you score on your boards?
About 540.
Oh, geez. It shows, it figures. Should a
Okay.
true and accurate report include exculpatory evidence? In other words, evidence that tends to clear the accused man of wrongdoing.
Yes.
Plate glass window of her office was broken. So she's accusing me of that, correct? Or she wouldn't have included it in her.
Oh, it's not highlighted in my
Oh.
copy, but yes, I see where that's written.
Okay. So you see where she's accused me of that.
I believe that's just a statement of fact that a plate glass window was broken at their office.
Right. But she would not have included this if she did not think I was responsible, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then it goes on. The next paragraph, also in 2008, her window was broken again. Do you have any evidence that I did that?
I don't know.
And so, in other words, you have no evidence of that?
No.
And then in 2000,
evidence would be helpful.
through the front windshield of the Bridges' car. Do you see that, sir?
I do?
And do you have any evidence that I would do that?
No.
Then if you could please look at, well, does it seem like she's basically included everything that's she's had to endure through the years, every problem she's had?
I assume so. Yes, this is pretty extensive.
Are you aware that she's been through almost 30 lawsuits during this period?
No.
Wow, that's a lot.
Do you think someone whom she evicted or with whom she's had a lawsuit would be angry enough to break her windows?
It's possible.
And they could be suspects
Correct.
in caps.
That might be helpful information,
She
though.
claims that I'm violating Penal Code Section 646.9, Section 422 of the Penal Code, and a section of federal statutes, which doesn't apply in this case anyway. Do you see that, sir?
I do.
Well, 646.9 is
Stalking.
stalking statute. And again, do you have any evidence of that?
No.
Criminal threat statute is 422.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any evidence that I made criminal threats?
I do not.
Good. Going just that well, guys. Going great.
Okay, well, do you think that Mrs. Bridges was acting reasonably and in good faith when she executed the citizen's arrest document?
Yes.
But you have no evidence, isn't that correct, that I did any of the things that Bridges claim I did? Is that true?
Personally, no.
Okay, and well, personally, that's why you're here.
Sure is.
Well, do you have any impersonal knowledge that I committed any of these alleged misdemeanors?
No.
Well, my friends, this has been an entertaining ride and an entertaining deposition for sure. This cop is a liar who has apparently no problem about lying on reports. He fails to include potentially exculpatory information, which he knew about a month before he wrote the report. Hey, AT&T can't figure out where this number, who's calling you. They can't figure out where the calls are coming from. But he doesn't exclude that. He puts things declaratively. This person lives in the Bay Area, but he doesn't know it. He's getting it from the witness, or from the complainant rather, and he doesn't say that's where he gets it. And he doesn't have any personal knowledge or information that the person who's doing the deposition has actually committed any crimes. He doesn't know these things. So the information he gave to a sergeant, which was passed on to the police officer, which was passed on to the judge, issued a bad decision because they were given bad information because this guy lied. And as I pointed out, because complaints are issued under penalty of perjury, this guy has perjured himself. So the cop doesn't seem to realize all the bad things that this person has exposed and is being quite arrogant about the whole thing, but maybe he'll come to pass. But it is nice to see that the cop was hoisted on his own arrogant petard. So that is encouraging. Until next time, for everyone, I've been Uncivil Law. I hope you have a great one. Until later, my friends. Goodbye.
Big verdict.